multimillionaire who made his fortune by being a relatable everyman has become one of the most reviled men in America.
Hollywood may be full of glitz and glamour, but some of its biggest stars have found themselves on the wrong side of the law. While scandals and controversies are nothing new in the entertainment industry, a few A-listers have faced serious legal troubles that led to real prison time. From shocking arrests to high-profile trials, these superstars learned the hard way that fame doesn't make anyone untouchable. This video takes a deep dive into 25 Hollywood celebrities who went from red carpets to prison cells. Some served short sentences while others spent years behind bars for crimes ranging from drug offenses to violent acts. Whether it was a moment of bad judgment or a long history of criminal behavior, these cases rocked the industry and shocked fans worldwide. Stay tuned as we uncover the legal battles, convictions, and the prison time served by some of Hollywood's most well-known names. Number 25, Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson, best known for his role as Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show, is now serving a 30 years to life prison sentence after being convicted of raping 2 women in the early 2000s. The former sitcom star was found guilty in May 2023 after a retrial, with prosecutors arguing that he used his celebrity status and connections to silence his victims. Masterson is currently incarcerated at North Kern State Prison, a California facility known for processing inmates before long-term placement. Reports suggest he's being held in protective custody due to the high-profile nature of his case. His legal team has vowed to appeal, but for now, he remains behind bars. His conviction marked a significant moment in Hollywood's reckoning with sexual assault, especially given his ties to the Church of Scientology, which was accused of attempting to cover up the crimes. Masterson's downfall serves as a stark reminder that no one is above the law. Number 24, Ryan Grantham. Ryan Grantham, known for his role in Riverdale and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, was sentenced to life in prison for the shocking murder of his mother, Barbara Waite. The Canadian actor pleaded guilty to second-degree murder after admitting to shooting his 64-year-old mother in the back of the head while she played the piano in their home in 2020. During the trial, prosecutors revealed that Grantham had also planned to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, but ultimately turned himself into the police instead. The court heard that he had been struggling with mental health issues, including depression and suicidal thoughts, leading up to the crime. Grantham is currently serving his life sentence in a Canadian prison, with parole eligibility set for 14 years. His case remains one of the most disturbing celebrity crime stories, highlighting the devastating consequences of untreated mental illness and violent impulses. Number 23, Amy Locane. Amy Locane, best known for her roles in Melrose Place and Cry Baby, is serving an 8-year prison sentence for her involvement in a fatal 2010 drunk driving crash. The former actress was convicted of second-degree vehicular homicide after crashing into another vehicle in Montgomery, New Jersey, killing 60-year-old Helene Seaman and seriously injuring Seaman's husband, Fred. At the time of the crash, Locane's blood alcohol level was nearly 3 times the legal limit. Witnesses reported she had been speeding and driving recklessly before the collision. Initially sentenced in 2013 to 3 years in prison, her sentence was later increased after multiple legal challenges, with prosecutors arguing the punishment was too lenient given the severity of the crime. Locane is currently serving time at Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in New Jersey. She has expressed remorse for her actions and has worked on alcohol abuse rehabilitation while incarcerated. Her parole eligibility is set for December 2024, but the tragic consequences of her choices continue to impact the victim's family. Her case serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of drunk driving and the lasting repercussions of one reckless decision. Number 22, Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced Hollywood producer once considered one of the most powerful figures in the film industry, is serving a 16-year prison sentence in Los Angeles for sexual assault charges. This sentence was handed down in February 2023 after he was convicted of raping and assaulting a woman in a Beverly Hills hotel in 2013. The conviction added to Weinstein's legal troubles, as he had already been serving a 23-year sentence in New York for similar crimes. In April 2023, Weinstein was extradited from California to New York to continue serving his sentence there. However, in a shocking legal twist, the New York Court of Appeals overturned his 2020 rape conviction in April 2024, citing judicial errors that may have influenced the jury's decision. This ruling has sparked outrage among Weinstein's accusers and advocates of the #MeToo movement, who view it as a setback in the fight against sexual assault. Despite the overturned conviction in New York, Weinstein remains incarcerated in California, where he is still serving his 16-year sentence. Prosecutors may seek a retrial in New York, ensuring his legal battle is far from over. Number 21. Joe's son. In 2008, authorities arrested Joe's son in connection to a 1990 sexual assault case after DNA evidence finally linked him to the crime. Nearly 2 decades after the attack, forensic advancements helped police identify him as the perpetrator, leading to his long-overdue prosecution. In 2011, after standing trial, he was found guilty of the sexual assault and sentenced to 7 years to life in prison in California. His conviction marked a significant victory for law enforcement, demonstrating the power of DNA in solving cold cases. However, his time behind bars would take an even darker turn. While incarcerated, he became involved in a violent altercation with his cellmate, which resulted in the man's death. Following an investigation, he was convicted of voluntary manslaughter for the brutal beating, and, in a separate trial, sentenced to an additional 27 years. The incident underscored the dangers of prison violence and added decades to his already lengthy sentence. Now serving a combined sentence that could keep him behind bars for life, his case serves as a chilling example of justice catching up with violent offenders, both for crimes committed before imprisonment and those committed while incarcerated. Number 20. Michael Jace. On May 31, 2016, actor Michael Jace was found guilty of second-degree murder for the fatal shooting of his wife, April Jace. Best known for his role on The Shield, Jace had shot April multiple times in their Los Angeles home in 2014, reportedly in front of their 2 young children. A key piece of evidence in the case came from April's password-protected iPhone 5C, which the LAPD successfully unlocked, providing crucial insights into their troubled relationship. Prosecutors argued that Jace acted out of jealousy and rage, with testimony revealing a history of domestic violence. On June 10, 2016, Jace was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison, ensuring he will serve a minimum of 4 decades before becoming eligible for parole. His conviction marked the tragic downfall of a once successful actor, and his case became yet another grim example of domestic violence escalating into deadly consequences. Number 19. Jen Shah. Jen Shah, former star of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is currently serving time at Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas for her role in a nationwide telemarketing fraud scheme. Initially sentenced to 6.5 years in January 2023, her sentence was later reduced by 1 year in March 2023. As a result, her release date was moved up from August 30, 2028, to November 3, 2026. Shah pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering, admitting to running a scheme that primarily targeted elderly and vulnerable individuals. Prosecutors argued that she played a key role in defrauding victims out of millions of dollars. Despite her past denials, Shah eventually accepted responsibility for her crimes, leading to her conviction. While incarcerated, she has reportedly focused on rehabilitation, but her downfall remains a stark reminder of the consequences of financial fraud and exploitation. Number 18. Jared Fogle. Jared Fogle, the former Subway spokesperson, is serving a 15-year and 8-month prison sentence after pleading guilty to child exploitation charges. In 2015, he was convicted of possessing and distributing child as well as engaging in commercial sex with minors. His arrest followed a lengthy federal investigation, that uncovered disturbing evidence of his illegal activities. Fogle's crimes were linked to Russell Taylor, the director of his charity, the Jared Foundation, who was also involved in producing and distributing explicit materials. Authorities revealed that Fogle had been preying on minors for years, using his wealth and status to facilitate his crimes. Currently incarcerated at a federal prison in Colorado, Fogle must serve at least 13 years before becoming eligible for parole. His downfall serves as a stark reminder that even public figures are not above the law, and justice will be served for crimes against children. Number 17. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley, the reality TV stars known for Chrisley Knows Best, are currently serving prison sentences for financial crimes. Todd Chrisley, a real estate mogul, was sentenced to 12 years at federal prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, while his wife, Julie, is serving a 7-year sentence at Lexington Federal Medical Center in Kentucky. The couple was convicted of bank fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy to defraud the IRS after prosecutors proved they had falsified documents to obtain millions in fraudulent loans. Despite their public claims of innocence, the court found them guilty in June 2022, leading to their sentencing in January 2023. While incarcerated, the Chrisleys have reportedly struggled with the reality of their situation, and their family continues to fight for appeals. Their case highlights the severe consequences of financial fraud and serves as a cautionary tale about the legal system's pursuit of justice, regardless of celebrity status. Number 16. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill, the Grammy-winning singer and former member of the Fugees, served 3 months in prison in 2013 for failing to file federal tax returns on over $1.8 million in earnings. Despite her immense success, including her groundbreaking 1998 solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which redefined hip-hop and R&B, she faced legal trouble for not paying taxes over several years. Following her release, Hill resumed her music career, but has remained relatively private, focusing on her 6 children and occasional performances. A decade later, reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley were sentenced to prison in 2023 for bank fraud and tax evasion. Todd received 12 years at federal prison camp in Pensacola, Florida, while Julie is serving 7 years at Lexington Federal Medical Center in Kentucky. Their conviction highlighted the severe consequences of financial fraud, much like Hill's case, though with significantly harsher sentences. Number 15. Lil Wayne. In 2010, rapper Lil Wayne served 8 months at Rikers Island after pleading guilty to illegal gun possession. The charges stemmed from a 2007 incident when police found a loaded firearm on his tour bus after a concert in New York. Originally sentenced to a year, he was released early for good behavior. Despite being behind bars, Lil Wayne remained productive. While serving his sentence, he released the album I Am Not a Human Being, which debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 before eventually hitting number 1. His time in prison didn't slow his career. If anything, it reinforced his status as one of hip-hop's biggest stars. Following his release, Lil Wayne continued making music and later received a presidential pardon from Donald Trump in 2021 for a separate federal gun charge. His experience at Rikers remains a significant chapter in his life and career. Number 14. Teresa Giudice and Joe Giudice. Teresa and Joe Giudice, stars of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, both served time in prison after being convicted of fraud. The couple was indicted in 2013 on multiple charges, including mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud. Prosecutors revealed that they had exaggerated their income to secure loans before the reality show premiered in 2009, and later attempted to hide assets in a bankruptcy filing after Arcang's first season. Joe also faced charges for failing to file tax returns between 2004 and 2008. Teresa served 11 months of a 15-month sentence in 2015 before being released. Joe served 41 months and was later deported to Italy, as he was not a U.S. citizen. Their legal troubles shook their family and became a major storyline on the show, Despite their time behind bars, Teresa returned to reality TV, rebuilding her career while Joe started a new life overseas. Number 13, Chris Brown. Chris Brown has faced multiple legal issues, including jail time for probation violations and assault charges. His legal troubles began after his 2009 assault on then-girlfriend Rihanna, which led to probation. However, in March 2014, Brown was expelled from a court-ordered rehab facility for violating its rules, which resulted in further legal consequences. On May 9, 2014, Brown was sentenced to 131 days in jail for violating his probation. Although he was granted early release, he was required to remain on probation and regularly meet with a psychiatrist. Beyond probation violations, Brown has also faced assault charges over the years. In 2013, he was arrested for assaulting a man outside a hotel in Washington, D.C. He has had other legal run-ins involving violent altercations. Despite his troubled past, Brown has continued to have a successful music career, though his legal history has cast a long shadow over his public image. Number 12, Amber Portwood. Amber Portwood, known for her role on Teen Mom, began serving a 5-year prison sentence on June 13, 2012. Her incarceration stemmed from drug-related charges and probation violations after years of struggling with substance abuse. While behind bars, she was required to attend substance abuse classes and work toward earning her GED as part of her rehabilitation. During her time in prison, Portwood made efforts to turn her life around. She focused on self-improvement and committed to sobriety. As a result of her good behavior, she was granted early release after serving just 17 months. On December 20, 2013, shortly after her release, Portwood appeared on Dr. Phil, where she opened up about her time in prison and her journey to recovery. She revealed that she had successfully earned her GED and was committed to staying clean for the sake of her daughter. Her experience served as a wake-up call, and she later used her platform to advocate for addiction recovery and second chances. While she has faced additional challenges in her personal life, her time in prison played a significant role in reshaping her path. Number 11, Mike Tyson. In 1992, former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson was convicted of raping 18-year-old Desiree Washington, a beauty pageant contestant. The case gained widespread media attention, as Tyson was one of the most famous athletes in the world at the time. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison with 4 years of probation after a highly publicized trial. Tyson began serving his sentence at the Indiana Youth Center, now the Plainfield Correctional Facility. While incarcerated, he converted to Islam and adopted the name Malik Abdul Aziz. Despite his prison time, Tyson maintained his innocence throughout the years. After serving 3 years, Tyson was granted early release on parole in 1995 for good behavior. He quickly returned to boxing, attempting to reclaim his former glory. Although he won back the heavyweight title, his career and personal life remained turbulent. His conviction and time in prison remain one of the most controversial chapters of his life, impacting both his legacy and public image. Despite his troubled past, Tyson later reinvented himself, finding success in business, acting, and podcasting, while reflecting on the mistakes and struggles that shaped his journey. Number 10, T.I., American rapper. Rapper T.I. has had multiple run-ins with the law throughout his career, facing arrests and convictions for drug possession, weapons violations, and assault. His legal troubles have resulted in both prison time and extended periods of probation. TT.I quote. S. criminal record dates back to 1997, when he was convicted of felony drug charges. Over the next several years, he repeatedly violated probation, leading to further legal consequences. Between 2007 and 2009, he faced federal weapons charges after attempting to illegally purchase firearms and silencers. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in prison, followed by community service and probation. In 2010, he was arrested again for drug possession, violating his probation. This led to an 11-month prison sentence, which he served between 2010 and 2011. Despite his past legal troubles, T.I. has since focused on rebuilding his career and advocating for criminal justice reform. He has spoken about his experiences with the legal system, aiming to help others avoid the same mistakes. While his past remains a part of his story, he has worked to use his platform for positive change and redemption. Number 9. Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, the famous businesswoman and television personality, served 5 months in prison in 2004 at Alderson Federal Prison Camp in West Virginia. She was convicted of obstructing justice and lying to investigators about a suspicious stock sale involving ImClone Systems. Her legal troubles stemmed from allegations that she received insider information, leading her to sell her shares just before the stock price dropped. Stewart was sentenced to 5 months in prison, followed by 2 years of probation. After reporting to prison in October 2004, she was released in March 2005. She then served 5 months of home confinement at her Westchester County estate, during which she was allowed to leave for work-related activities for up to 48 hours per week. Following her release, Stewart successfully rebuilt her brand. She resumed her television career, launched new business ventures, and even partnered with rapper Snoop Dogg for a cooking show. Despite her conviction, Stewart remains a widely respected figure in the world of business and entertainment, proving that she could overcome adversity and reclaim her success. Number 8. Tim Allen. Before becoming a famous comedian and actor, Tim Allen served 2 years and 4 months in federal prison for drug trafficking. In 1978, he was arrested at the Kalamazoo Battle Creek International Airport in Michigan with over 650 grams of cocaine. Facing the possibility of a life sentence, Allen cooperated with authorities and provided the names of other drug dealers in exchange for a reduced sentence. He was sentenced to 7 years but was paroled in 1981 after serving just over 2 years at the Federal Correctional Institution in Sandstone, Minnesota. Following his release, Allen turned his life around, pursuing a career in stand-up comedy that eventually led to his breakout role on Home Improvement in the 1990s. Despite his troubled past, Allen has openly discussed his time in prison, using it as a lesson in redemption and personal growth. His story is a testament to second chances and transformation. Number 7. Wesley Snipes. Actor Wesley Snipes served nearly 3 years in federal prison for tax evasion after being convicted of failing to file tax returns from 1999 to 2001. The Blade star owed approximately $7 million in unpaid taxes and was charged with 3 misdemeanor counts. Despite his legal team arguing that he was misled by tax advisors, Snipes was sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined $5 million. He reported to the Federal Correctional Institution in McKean, Pennsylvania, in December 2010 and was released in April 2013, finishing the remainder of his sentence under house arrest. Snipes attempted to appeal his conviction, but the courts upheld the original ruling. Following his release, Snipes resumed his acting career, appearing in films such as The Expendables 3 and Coming to America. His case became one of the most high-profile celebrity tax evasion convictions, serving as a cautionary tale about the importance of fulfilling tax obligations. Number 6. Mark Wahlberg. At age 16, Mark Wahlberg was convicted of assault after a violent attack in Boston. In 1988, he was charged with assaulting 2 Vietnamese men in what was described as a racially motivated incident. Wahlberg, who was reportedly under the influence of drugs at the time, used a wooden stick to strike one of the victims and punched the other in the eye. Initially facing serious charges, he ultimately pleaded guilty to felony assault and was sentenced to 90 days in prison. However, he served only 45 days before being released. Following his time in prison, Wahlberg worked to turn his life around. He pursued a music career as Marky Mark before transitioning into acting, becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Over the years, he has expressed regret for his past actions and has dedicated himself to charity work, particularly supporting at-risk youth and rehabilitation programs. Number 5. Phil Spector. Phil Spector, the legendary music producer turned convicted murderer, spent his final years behind bars in California. In 2009, he was convicted of murdering actress Lana Clarkson and sentenced to 19 years to life in prison. Spector maintained his innocence, claiming Clarkson had shot herself at his mansion. Initially, he was incarcerated at the California Healthcare Facility in Stockton, a prison designated for medically vulnerable inmates. Due to declining health, he was later transferred to the California State Prison in Corcoran in 2014. Spector passed away in January 2021 at the age of 81 from complications related to COVID-19 while in a prison hospital. His death marked the end of a career that had once revolutionized the music industry. Known for his signature wall of sound production style, he created hits for artists such as the Ronettes and the Righteous Brothers, earning him the title of the first tycoon of teen. Number 4. Sean Penn. In 1987, actor Sean Penn was sentenced to 60 days in jail after assaulting an extra on the set of Colors. Penn, who was already on probation for prior incidents, attacked Jeffrey Klein after the extra attempted to take photos of him and co-star Robert Duvall. Penn reportedly swore at Klein, spat at him, and then punched him multiple times in the face. Klein sustained cuts and bruises and required treatment at a medical center. The altercation, combined with a reckless driving charge, led to Penn serving 33 days in jail. His history of violent outbursts had already made headlines, including previous run-ins with photographers and altercations with paparazzi. Despite his troubled past, Penn went on to become an acclaimed actor and director, winning multiple Academy Awards. He later focused on humanitarian efforts, particularly disaster relief and activism, which helped reshape his public image over time. Number 3. Felicity Huffman. In September 2019, actress Felicity Huffman served 14 days in prison for her role in the college admissions scandal known as Operation Varsity Blues. She was convicted of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud after admitting to paying $15,000 to have her daughter's SAT scores artificially boosted. Huffman pleaded guilty, expressing deep remorse for her actions. She stated that she felt pressured as a mother and believed she was helping her daughter secure a better future. However, she acknowledged that her decision was wrong and accepted full responsibility. In addition to her prison sentence, Huffman was sentenced to 1 year of probation, 250 hours of community service, and a $30,000 fine. The scandal, which implicated several wealthy parents, exposed corruption in the college admissions process. Despite the controversy, Huffman completed her sentence and has since worked to rebuild her career and reputation. Number 2. Robert Downey Jr. In 1999, Robert Downey Jr.'s struggles with addiction led to a 3-year prison sentence, though he ultimately served 15 months at California's Corcoran State Prison. His legal troubles stemmed from repeated drug-related arrests, violating probation multiple times. During his time behind bars, Downey Jr. later recalled the harsh conditions, describing the environment as filled with evil in the air and lacking any sense of opportunity. His incarceration marked the lowest point in his battle with substance abuse, but it also set the stage for his eventual recovery. After his release in 2000, Downey Jr. worked hard to rebuild his life and career. Through rehabilitation, personal growth, and a strong support system, he made one of Hollywood's greatest comebacks, eventually securing the role of Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His journey from addiction and imprisonment to superstardom remains an inspiring story of resilience and redemption. Number 1. Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton spent 23 days in jail in 2007 for violating probation related to a reckless driving charge. Her legal troubles began in September 2006 when she was arrested for driving under the influence, DUI. She later pleaded no contest and was sentenced to probation, alcohol education classes, and a license suspension. In early 2007, Hilton was caught driving twice with a suspended license, leading to a probation violation. A judge sentenced her to 45 days in jail, though she ended up serving 23 days due to good behavior. Her time behind bars was widely covered by the media, and she later described it as a life-changing experience. After her release, Hilton stated that she wanted to use her platform for good and become a better person. While her jail time was brief, it became one of the most high-profile celebrity incarcerations of the 2000s. From shocking scandals to dramatic courtroom battles, these Hollywood superstars have all faced the consequences of their actions, proving that fame and fortune don't make anyone immune to the law. Some used their time behind bars as a wake-up call, turning their lives around, while others struggled to escape their troubled pasts. What do you think about these celebrity cases? Were their sentences fair, or do you think they got off too easy? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. We've got more eye-opening stories coming your way, so stay tuned for more Hollywood scandals, crime stories, and unbelievable true events. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.